Would you pray with me? God, may the thoughts, may the meditations, may the things that we see when our eyes are closed in these next few minutes, may they be pleasing to you. God, may the words that I speak, may the words that we hear, may the words that come from your scripture be words that you want us to hear and to know and to meditate upon. For God, you are a wonderful God. You, the one who hemmed us, the one who formed us, the one who continues to form us. God, help us to hear you this day. May we pray. Amen. So one of the things that I've been considering over the last few years is having a church-wide retreat. And I think it's because when growing up, I had a wonderful church retreat that the church I grew up as a boy would go on each year. We would go to the camp that our presbytery owned, and we would spend the night. We would eat a wonderfully prepared dinner and have a worship service over the campfire the next morning, where s'mores served as our unofficial communion bread, and hot chocolate served as our unofficial wine. Here we would take hikes. We would look at the stars at night. We would listen to the melodious cacophony that nature makes. We in this place came together as a church, and we came together in spirit. We would have team building and small group activity. We would have the opportunity to join in church-wide art projects. And there was this art hut where they would have us do these things. And I remember going my first year, I was probably 10 years old or so. And I looked down at the other end of this art hut where we gathered, and sitting at the end of one of those picnic tables were these misshapen, cracked, dusty bowls, plates, cups, and other various dinnerware, if you want to use that term. And I asked one of the leaders about this, and she told me that those were dishes made from the clay pits. Clay pits, I asked, to which I was walked to the edge of a patch of woods that I had never entered. And then we walked down this steep incline to a ravine where the only growth was the grass that grew across the top. And then we climbed down the ravine, and I saw a muddy white substance as far as the eye could see that looked like silly putty. It was thicker than mud, and it stuck to my hands and my feet like glue. All around where I stood at the bottom of this ravine were these little pinched-off pots and half-completed cups. Now the dinnerware made sense. The clay pit had been the favorite spot for children for generations who had come to camp here and who came to church camps came to church retreats like the one I was on. I had never seen clay in this form before. I had only seen it thrown on wheels or in the blocks that they gave me at school, those little square blocks. Here I could plunge my hand in and be connected with that which had come before and that which would come after. Here, where no vegetation could grow, imaginations could grow. Here, where rain made water slides, imaginations made entire villages, and hands made pottery. I don't remember what I made. I'm sure it was kind of sloppy. But I decided not to bring it to the dry out on the picnic table that day. Instead, I made the conscious decision to leave my sloppy, side-leaning, never-usable masterpiece to remain where it come from, in hopes that some other child would come and use his or her imagination to form it into a plane or a car or a snake, knowing that one day it would once again be returned to the earth. 10 years later, I worked at that conference center, and we could no longer allow the children to go back there to play. It had become too unsafe, too slippery. Erosion had kind of taken over. But every now and then at night, a dried out bowl and some misshapen people who had once been the prize of tiny hands and big imaginations. Today we will be exploring the beauty and the creative imagination of our God. We will be reminded of the careful, intricate detail from which we have come. Having already heard the psalm this day, let us now listen for and watch the reading of God's Word as found in select verses in Jeremiah 18. God said, "Go down to the potter's house, and there I will give you my message." So I went down to the potter's house, and I saw him working at the wheel. But the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands. So the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him. Did I not do with you as this potter does, declares the Lord? Like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand. This is the reading of God's Word. Thanks be to God. There is something special about pottery, is there not? There is responsibility that comes when one plunges his or her hand into the cool clay upon a wheel. Its formation, its future, its nextness is in the potter's hands. But there is some deeper hope, some more relevant existence that stretches beyond just that moment. Its history. Its history is deeply ingrained in so much more. That clay is more than just the final piece. That clay has a story. Its mix of dirt and water and whatever gradient is used has an inspirational hope that leads one to wonder where it has been before. Just as a gardener plunges his hand or her hand into the dirt of untilled ground to begin the process of growing something new where something old had once been, so the potter takes the pressure of reshaping and reforming, of telling a story as old as time in a form that's never been seen before. With every wipe of the brow, with every bit of dust that brushes upon the apron, with every turn of the wheel, there is something happening that has never happened before. And the same goes for any work of art. Although people may try, there's nothing the same about any work of art. Each pot has different pinches and different grooves. Each painting has different drifts and strokes and widths. And to use the imagery of our psalm that we read earlier, we must realize that each tapestry, each quilt, each sweater has different threads, different stitches, different tying, different fills of every thread, different knots that are tied. Yes, with creation comes individual creativity. With creativity comes a sense of love sense of pride, a sense of appreciation. To question the creative work is to question the one who created it. Likewise, if we truly believe that we are created in the image of God, then we too must believe that whenever God began to form us, whenever the potter threw us on the wheel, there we were created anew. We each were given special attention. And we each have a committed sense of pride. But that's hard for us to realize, is it not? It's hard for us to hear. Just as it is sometimes hard for us to hear the compliments because of the one complaint. Just as it is hard for us to look past the imperfections we see in the mirror to see the beauty that stands before us. Just as it is hard to look past the bullies to see the friends. Just as it is hard to see our real selves because of the fictitious fronts we put up in public or on social media. Just as these things, it is often hard for us to hear that we are wonderfully made, that we are fearfully made, that we are made. Well, listen to your preacher this day, Covington Presbyterian Church. You are loved. You are created in God's image. You matter. And here goes my coined saying that many of you have heard before. You are a creative creation, created in the image of the creative creator, called to do creative things for all of creation's creatures. Yes, you who stand upon the scale each morning wondering where that extra pound came from. You who search for ways to cover or hide imperfections in face or in body. You who wonder where your hair is gone. You who wonder why your skin is too light or too dark. You who wonder why you have no artistic talent. You who wonder why you have a hard time speaking to other people or in public or to large crowds. You who find yourself feeling lonely. You who walks through the throes of grief. You who wonders if your child or you will ever be accepted by the church because of who you or who they are. You who misses assignments because you have a hard time concentrating. You who fumbles everything you have. You who has more than one creaky bone. You who are differently abled. You whose language is not the same as those around you. You whose heart or liver or other part of back or mind or body is weak or giving out. You whose loved ones are no longer themselves. You who are no longer yourself. Yes, you, I'm talking to you. You were created by a creative creator who formed you completely unique, completely beautiful, completely gifted, and most importantly, you, yes, you are created in the image of God. That nose, that skin color, those ears, those actions, those reactions, that which makes you different from others, that is God's reflection, looking back on you. That is God's creativity. That is God's pride. That is God's joy. That is the one and only one like it, so you better take doggone good care of it. No matter how hard we try, this lump of clay that we are can't sprout arms and begin to mold ourselves. No matter how hard we try. You were molded, you were knit, you were formed from top to bottom. But I want you to hear this too. Not only were you all of these things, you are being molded. You are being knit. You are being formed from top to bottom, from start to finish, because you matter. It's a simple message. It is such a simple message that I could preach this to kindergartners and they would understand, but we adults need to hear it sometimes too. You matter. But also hear this. If you matter, so do I. And so does he, and so does he, and so does she, and so does she, and so do they, and so do they, and so do they. So does the person who cut you off in traffic today. So does the person who makes you mad at work. So does the person who fired you last week. So a person that you never liked. So does Hillary Clinton, and so does Donald Trump. So does the child you haven't spoken to, or the relative you haven't spoken about, or the person you forgot, or the person you made mad. Each person matters. Yes, we live on the only globe that so far has proven to be able to sustain life. We who are the most creative of all creation, we who are the ones who are made in God's image, we are the ones who Jesus chose to be like, we who are chosen, we who are God's chosen church, we are called to love the rest of God's creatures. No matter how imperfect we may think the other is, or how imperfect we may think we are, God made us, God looks like us, God is with us. So let's act like it. So here's your charge today. Live like you matter, because you do. Live like the person next to you matters, because they do. Live like all of God's children matter, because we do. It's just that simple. It's just that hard. Let us pray.